Hi, welcome back to my garden. Today I have these 5 amazing conifers that I wanted to show you. Some of them I've had since last year and just wasn't quite sure where to put them. This one here was actually in the garden all year, and then I decided that there's a better place for it, so I dug it up, and I was surprised at actually how many roots it grew just in the 1 year. So anyway, so the first one on this side is an eastern white pine. It's called Louis, and I wish you could touch the needles because they're super, super soft. So, and I love the combination of these two together. And then this one here, I think it's a Colorado blue spruce. It's called Crystal Blue, this variety. So this one grows to 25 feet tall and 10 feet wide. And then this one says 20 feet tall and 15 feet wide. I saw this thing that Isley Nursery down in Oregon had, where it was one of these trees and they kept pruning the sides. They let it get tall, but they would prune the candles I think maybe halfway or most of the way down as they would come out in the spring. And anyway, so they kept it super, super dense. So it was just this dense, fluffy, golden little tower. So anyway, I wanted to try to do something like that. And then this one over here is a grand fir. So this one I actually got from our native nursery nearby. These are native to where I live. And the color doesn't look amazing. I don't think it should be this limey. It should be a slightly deeper green. But maybe it's just tired of its nursery pot. I can't see. There are some little roots, I think. Oh no, that was the other one. Anyway, I think it will be happy to be in the ground. This one, I don't have the stats on. I'll put them on the screen, but I think this one gets pretty huge. There's a few around the property that are kind of in various sizes. They seem to be able to handle a little more shade too when they're young. This one here I'm really excited about. Somebody who lives nearby grows these. This is coastal redwood. So these ones are native, I think mostly to California, but anyway, as our summers have been a little bit drier, I thought I wanted to try it where some of the western red cedars that we had died. So there's some big gaps kind of in the canopy, and this one I think can grow really quickly. I think it can grow 3 feet a year once it's established, and the sky's the limit. I can't remember if the tallest tree is a coastal redwood or the sequoia, but either way, it's one of the tallest trees in the world. And then this one down here, I'm super excited about. These ones are normally super expensive if you get them any bigger than this. This one was still kind of expensive, but this one is a little globe spruce, I guess. I think it might also be Colorado. Yeah, so it's the globe version of this one. So this one will get tall, and this one stays at about, it says 2.5 feet by 2.5 feet. And that's normally in 10 years time how big it will be. So anyway, really small, but I thought it would just make a cute little lump of fuzzy blueness. And I love with the blues and with the yellows, just how you can play flower colors up against them too. Anyway, so I'm really excited. So I do have some soil prepared. I was trying to think of what to make for them. Generally, all of these want some moisture in the soil, but they want really good drainage too. They don't want to sit in moisture. So I basically just used some of our compost, which is mostly wood chip type stuff that's composted all winter. And then I mixed in just maybe 1 part to 4 part all-purpose mix just to put in a few extra things. But I'm not going to dig super big holes or anything for these. They should just be able to do their thing. Yeah, so that's the soil, and then I'll just make sure I water them really well, and then this summer I'll keep an eye on them. The ones that are going to be in full sun, I may even water once a week. Otherwise, maybe once a month I'll just check on them. Yeah, so I'll take you around and show you where everything's going, and I'll get planting. So the little crystal blue Colorado blue spruce is all tucked in here. Anytime I'm worried about it getting too much moisture, and because these ones, like if they are native to Colorado, which I assume they are, it's like significantly drier and like I think almost high desert for a lot of the state. So anyway, I figured that I would just plant it a little bit proud. Generally, I feel like it's recommended that you plant things at the same level that the soil is in the pot. In this case, it's like maybe a couple of inches higher, and I'll just keep it mulched so it's still like a nice smooth there's like room for the root flare and stuff. Anyway, so that's why it's planted a little bit proud. But it should do really well here. I have a few other kind of baby trees and stuff, so it should be a nice setting in like, 3 to 5 years or so. So I have this big, beautiful blue spruce. I don't think it's the exact same variety as the other one. It seems a little less kind of silvery blue. It has more green, I think. But anyway, it's giant and spectacular. And then I also have this Alberta spruce, which is a dwarf, but it's gotten pretty big. It must be, I don't know. It's hard to guess, but like, I think it could easily be about 30 years old. Anyway, and because I want to be trimming this one to keep it nice and narrow, I thought having the 3 different cones, or like the 3 different like cone-shaped trees all together would be really cool. And I just like love how this shows up against the kind of silvery blue of the spruce. So this feels like a really good spot for it. So the area just like to the side is relatively moist, not to the point. I sometimes look at the weeds to see like what weeds do well there to kind of tell what the soil is like. So there's some buttercups here, not a ton. It tends to be more yarrow. So for me, yarrow is where it's like a little bit drier. Buttercups will be where it's like a little bit more moist. So in this case, because it's a little bit more yarrow, I know that it's not too wet, but I'm still gonna plant it just a little proud. Like this whole area is planted a little bit like a berm bed. So it'll just be at a high point of that. And then I have some really pretty rocks that I want to kind of set up all around the base of it. So I like to put some water in the hole first, only because I know that that's going to start draining through the soil, and then hopefully it creates like little pathways that then the roots can follow to find all the water. Definitely some decent roots. So I'm just going to look around from different angles to make sure it doesn't look lopsided or anything. Generally, if something has a slight bias like this, like the top is kind of leaning that way, I tend to turn that to face north, because then I figure that it will naturally bend back the other way, or at least like maybe start to straighten out the other way. I also think about where it will be viewed from. So in this case, if I want to see the 3 conifers together, this is kind of the angle, like where the camera's looking from. So I think that looks pretty awesome. So I'm gonna start to backfill just with like what was already here. Firm that in around the base, and then give it a bit more water. So although it is slightly mounded up, where the soil level was before is still where the soil is now, like around the base of the trunk. So that's kind of an important thing to look out for. And then gently packing it around. And then for the rocks, I kind of just wanted to arrange them in a slightly artsy way, almost like it's in its own little pod. Okay, I may end up kind of playing around with the rocks a little bit more. I tend to like things in an odd number, so in this case having the 5 rocks works pretty well. This will also protect the tree a little bit from the dogs. We try to keep them out of all the garden beds. Occasionally they do zoomies around the big spruce tree, so when there's more obstacles, they tend to avoid it. So just until it gets a little bit bigger, and until then it should, yeah, I don't know, just look cute. Okay, I'm just up from where I just planted the little eastern white pine, and I have the little globe blue spruce, and my thought was to plant it maybe somewhere around here. Although it won't get very big, having like a nice little blue lump here I thought would contrast really nicely against the kind of vibrant green of the juniper, and also maybe give a sense of repetition between the big blue spruce and this one, kind of like a little, like, your eyes take you down and you see all the things along the way. There is also a theoretical angle kind of over there from which you could see potentially all 3 of the blue spruces, which is just like kind of satisfying for me in like an OCD way. But anyway, I was thinking somewhere around here, so I'll just like look at it from a few different views and kind of get the exact spot. I think right around here would be good. There's also like the window from the den is like right over there, so being able to get like a hint of this and maybe some more limey green things back there would be like a great sight line, especially in winter. So this is mostly just like mulch chips anyway, so kind of more of what I have in the bucket. So I don't think it'll need too much more than that. It should get like the moisture it needs and the drought, or the drainage. So for this one, because the soil is like so kind of gritty and crumbly, I think I might, I'll just keep an eye on it, because I might have to bring the soil level up a little bit. As the mulch breaks down, it'll go kind of lower and lower, and I don't want the pot like or like what was the pot sticking up too high. But yeah, anyway, that's that's good for now. So I have the grand fir here, and I was thinking of putting it kind of right up here. This is our bridge that we actually moved from somewhere else on the property. It was here when we moved in, and then we put it over here. It goes over the little brook, which is kind of seasonal. It'll like rush basically like fall, winter, spring, and then dry up for summer. But there's a sight line from like our guest room / plant nursery room all the way down here, and then in winter when the sun's low, like I thought it would kind of glow up. It glows up the bridge the way it is, and I thought having kind of like a Christmas tree looking tree in the shot too would look really nice, or in the view. Anyway, and then all the same rules for planting this in. I'm just going to keep it roughly the same level as the soil. I'll water it when needed the first year or so, but this one's native to here, so I think it'll take off pretty easily. Okay, so everybody's settled in. This one has a lot of growing to do to catch up to its neighbors. And I was actually reading that the coastal redwoods, because they have like pretty shallow roots, I think it's like a fibrous root system, not like a taproot or anything, they do best when they're grown in little groups. So I was gonna try and get hold of maybe 2 more so I can do like a little trio over here, because I guess the roots like hold on to each other and it helps them stay upright in like high winds and stuff. Anyway, I'm really excited to see how they all do. I feel like there's such a variety in conifers, and I always get like, I don't know, it's always like so exciting to discover new ones or to add new ones to the garden. And because they come in such different, like the smallest one was the globe spruce, which gets to about like 1.5 feet high, and then this one can get to like 300 feet high, so like the scale is like huge. So yeah, anyway, thanks for coming along for today. I'll keep you posted on how things do, and I'll catch you next time.